Okay, so the task here is to use fractional, or known as rational exponents, fractional I call it, to solve this, or not to solve it, but to simplify it, to knock it down. So we see that the little 4 up here, the index, that's going to be on the bottom of our fraction, right? We know that. And this guy's going to be on the top. So that means we're going to have 16 x to the 6th to the 1/4. Then we can split this out. We can call it 16 to the 1/4 times x to the 6th to the 1/4. So that's kind of like a distributive problem, where you can say that it's this guy times the first one's exponent, and then this guy times the second one's exponent. And that's what we wind up with here, the 1/4. This exponent's just a 1, so we just pretty much have this guy by itself. But over here, we're going to have 6 times that 1/4. So this means what? The 4th root of 16. And there are ways to find that out. I've showed you this before, but let's take a look at it real fast again, just to refresh our memory. Let's go ahead with something like this. If we go over here and do our little factoring thing, okay? So if we're looking for the 4th root, then that means we're looking for a factor that appears equally 4 times. So we wind up going like this. 2 into 16 is 8, right? And then 2 into 8 is 4. And then 2 into 4 is 2. Sure enough, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys. So the 4 equal factors tell us that 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. Therefore, the 4th root of 16 is 2. All right, so that's an easy way to figure that out. So that means this whole thing, the 4th root of 16, we can just kind of rewrite it if we want, just to see what it is. 4th root of 16, we know that's going to be 2. Okay, then over here, we have x to the 6 goes on top. The 4 goes on the bottom, 6 over 4th. And 6 over 4 is 3 over 2, right? So now the next step is we have x, we have 3 over 2, because that reduces down. So we're going to wind up now with, over here we have the 2 still. And then, as we've been saying, this becomes the root, so that's squared. So square root of x cubed. Okay, so square root of x cubed. Oh man, where's my eraser? There it is. And the eraser doesn't work, of course. Oops. All right. So this winds up being, the bottom guy is the root, so that's the square root. The top guy, the x cubed, stays with it. Square root of x cubed. But we can reduce that further. And the way we do that is the 2 sticks around. We're going to say this. We're going to break out the x cubed into x squared times x. Right? We can do that because x squared, this is an x to the 1. So 1 plus 2 gives us the x cubed. And then we can break it down even further and say, here's our 2 still. We can say that x squared, the square root of x squared times x is the same as the square root of x squared times the square root of x. Okay? So we have 2, and then we have the square root of x squared. Okay? And that means what? It's just x. Oops. And then we wind up here with the square root of x left over. So 2x times the square root of x.